one, I knew I needed balance, but two, that was most important for me is I want to be able to get pregnant. And my iron had like doubled, but it was still like extremely low. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Hope you're having a great day, great night. My name is Brianna, and today I'm going to be talking about my fertility journey / trying to get pregnant, all of that kind of information. I've had this requested, and I thought I would go over this since we are pregnant now and we're expecting, and we're just super excited. It has not been an easy journey by any means, but I'm really excited for it and to be a mom. So it definitely was not easy to get here. But yeah, before we get into this, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, push the bell notification. So I just wanted to do a little, number one thing I want to clarify with everyone is this is a lot of stuff that I was doing actively at the time and things I did through like trying to help. But I also don't think that there's a one fit for everyone. Everyone's different. People are struggling with different things. And I definitely recommend going with what feels right, going with your instinct. I know through this last year, people would say things that had helped them, and in my gut, I knew I shouldn't try it and it would help, and then I ended up having like adverse reactions. And so I would just say go with your gut. Maybe something feels good, maybe something doesn't. Maybe something one day you feel like you need to and the next day you don't. Go with your gut and what feels right, and don't just take it. Some people may be like, you have to do this, and you don't have to do this. Do what feels good for you, what you feel right, what you and your spouse feel that's really good. So that's what I'm gonna start out with. Go with your gut. Maybe some of this stuff will be helpful and you're like, I need to try that, and maybe other things won't, but just go off your gut. And I just take that in general, no matter what it is. You're trying to get pregnant, you are pregnant, everything. Like this is something that I definitely learned over this last year, is following my gut, and that's something I'm doing even now as pregnant, because there's definitely been a lot of cases where people are like, take this and take that, and I'm just like, I don't feel right, and other things I'm like, I need to do that. So there's my first word of advice. Also, I'll probably look at my phone throughout this because that's where my notes are at. So we got married back last July, and so we've been trying for almost a year to get pregnant. But I would really say my fertility and trying to work on that started before. So back in 2021, early spring, I had known a lot of things were kind of messed up in my body, especially hormone wise. And I had heard, my mom was part of a Facebook group and found out about this hormone doctor. And he did stuff more naturally, which I really liked. And so, sorry, it is hot in here, and I didn't want to turn the air on because the noise. So, and I'm wearing a hoodie, so maybe that's not a good idea. But anyways, back to the story. I reached out to this doctor, and everything was virtual, which was great. I mixed up the blood work. And I actually reached out to the doctor before me and Logan, I met Logan. And then I can't remember exactly why, but just like it took a few weeks to hear from the doctor, because I just left a voicemail and then totally forgot about it and was just like, no, I'm not supposed to do this. And then finally talking to the doctor, and then had to get my blood work, which took a few weeks because I was like putting it off, and then finally getting to it. And so I really, by the end of all these appointments and different things, I didn't start any of the hormones until the beginning of July 2021, right? This year's 2022, I think. Pregnancy does things to you with memory. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this is 2020. That was embarrassing, whatever. And so I didn't start it until beginning of July, and so it was like a month before we got married. And honestly, like, things were going really good. I was feeling great. The week of our wedding, I had met with the nurse, and she had asked me, she was like, if you want to take like double the progesterone you were on, it can help with sleeping, or she asked like, do you have problems sleeping? And I was like, I don't know, like I'm tired all the time. And she's just like, well, just take double. And I was just like, okay, that's what she's telling me. And I should have gone, this is the one thing I probably should have off my gut, is not to go up. But I did, just thinking, okay, that's what she said to do. So I did do it. And double it up. So we were on our honeymoon, and I want to say it was like day 2, and my period started, and I had heard that like a lot of times just the stress and everything of letting your period start. So I was just like, not a big deal. It was pretty light for what I was like used to, but I was like, whatever. I knew things with the hormones can kind of mess things up. Not mess things up, but things are going to rebalance. And so I was like, okay, could have been that too. Well, the period ended up lasting for like 13 days, which is not normal. My periods have always been very, very consistent. And like, it like went for like 13 days, and then I think I had like an 11-day break, and then it started again. And then that one was like 20 days, and then it was like another like short break. And when I talked to the doctor, he's like, oh, just take more progesterone. He's like, or just keep taking it, like it will help to regulate your body. I'm like, okay. And then as I've talked before, like things just kind of kept getting worse. And finally, after this went on for 3 months, I said no, because a lot of this I was doing because I knew I needed to balance, but 2, that was most important for me is I want to be able to get pregnant. And my hormone levels were so low, and especially in a lot of important ones, that I was like, I don't think I could get pregnant unless we get these leveled out. So totally went off everything. Ended up talking to the doctor, and he's like, okay, everything else should be good, but go off the progesterone. And so went off that. And I think, like, my body definitely needed time to even out, to level out everything, get a normal, consistent period, because it was actually got pretty consistent, but, like, the days were, like, really uneven, where it used to be, like, right 28 days. It was sometimes, like, 20. One time it got to 32, which that was definitely a mind boggler, thinking I'm pregnant, and then my period started. So that was really rough. But about after a month after I went off the progesterone, I got a kidney infection, which then totally messed up my body too with antibiotics. I hate antibiotics. And the only reason I did that was just because I was nervous about everything going on. I would love if there's a better option if anyone has like kidney infections in the future, like what you would do, because that was horrible. And then I ended up getting kept getting like colds and sicknesses. Like I would get sick and then get better and get sick. So it was just rough. My period was trying to re-regulate itself, and definitely hard. Trying so many different things that people would say and to do, and none of it was working. And so I started really like reaching out to people at this point of what helps, what worked for you. And I got a lot of good, useful tips. Some stuff was good, some stuff was bad. And so there was a lot of things I was trying out and doing, and I think especially by the time we did get pregnant, I really kind of honed in on stuff that really was actually working. I don't know if any of this stuff happened. It could have all just been God's hand, because definitely a lot of prayers and fasting and just trying what we could, me and Logan, to try to get pregnant. So different things I was on was first off AMLA. So one of the things that was off with my hormones was iron. My iron was very low, and when I redid my blood work back in like, I don't even know, I think it was around December, January, and my iron had like doubled, but it was still like extremely low. And so I was taking iron supplement, and then I was also taking AMLA. AMLA, I heard from someone, just someone in town, one of my friends, that said it helps unlock the iron that's inside, because a lot of times you have iron, but your body doesn't know how to unlock it and be able to use it, and so it puts it into more of a usable form. So there's also a lot of other things that are really good and really good for pregnancy. It even says I could help get pregnant. So I was on amla. I was also taking evening primrose when I was ovulating. I was taking prenatals. So I was first just taking one, just a normal one, but I switched. After the first one, we hadn't quite miscarried yet, to a new prenatal. I'll put the link for that one below. I got it off Amazon. It's one made with like all natural veggies. And that's my iron too. My iron is made out of like natural stuff, derived from like vegetables and fruits. So it's an easier form for your body to digest. I also was taking red raspberry tea, drinking a cup of that every single day. I want to get back into drinking that, but since being pregnant and the nausea, I have had a hard time taking that and Amla just because, well, part of me is I didn't want the aversions to it later, so I kind of just stopped them, and because it was hard to get anything down for a while, but hopefully soon I'll be able to again. Also, I'm trying to get pregnant, I think for like a day or two. I just felt like I should take some zinc, and so it wasn't really a consistent thing, a day here or there, and that's what I say. Sometimes you feel like that. Sometimes you should take something, sometimes you shouldn't. And zinc, I remember there were a few different times where I felt I should take zinc. Other things I was doing was a bicycle method. People do different ways, but after intercourse, usually it consists of you laying down on your back and either doing a bicycle, or some people just like sit or lay with their feet straight up in the air, leaned up against something. So there's that. Before I would do the bicycle though, I would actually put it in a period disc, put that in, and then do the bicycle method. Sorry, I am out of breath. I haven't talked this much. I think my last sit down video I did with you guys, I was so out of breath and it took so long and so much editing because I like could not breathe. Sit down videos are rough. So put the period disc in. I would wear it until the next morning and then take it out. And then I'm also doing the bicycle method. So do that for a few minutes. I never really had a set time. I would just do it for a little while. Yeah. And then a couple days after ovulation, I would do a lavender bath. So like Epsom salt, baking soda, and some lavender essential oil, and just soak in that for probably about 20-30 minutes. Because lavender is actually something that I read that was good for conceiving. Again, I don't really know if that's what led. I don't know if any of this. Maybe none of it was, and it was just suddenly our time. I don't know. But these are things I was actually trying to and seem to help, I guess. The other thing, so at the beginning when we were trying to get pregnant, I was trying to track ovulation with the strips. And when you have an inconsistent period, it just kind of got really, really frustrating. And so I was just like, I was done with the strips. I was trying different ways to track ovulation, but honestly, I wasn't like probably as consistent as I should have been, trying out different things. And so this spring, I felt like I should take the ovulation or doing the ovulation strips again, and they were a lot more successful. But honestly, because at first I didn't even know if I was like ovulating for several months, and I suddenly started noticing. So I still think I could have got right on the day of ovulation without the strips, and I knew pretty well just how my body works when I'm ovulating. I don't know if other people can, but I could usually always tell. But still using the strips, we know exactly what day that we should try. One thing I also, I try to move stress, like really stressful things out of my life. Struggling not to get pregnant was already stressful enough, but I really just tried to stay as calm as I was. If moments came where I felt stressed or just really put down, I kind of let them hit and then be calm the next day. But I knew if I was overly stressed out that things for my body would be more tense and stressed. And so I just tried to, even though it was really hard and we were actively trying and it was rough, is to still try to find peace between the hard moments, and just take more time just to relax, and just have more time for myself. I I'm by myself a lot, but taking more time like out in nature and just relaxing, I think helped a lot too. Along those lines, I started doing grounding for about 20 to 30 minutes every morning. Go outside, sit, I'd study my scriptures, get some stuff ready for Instagram, and just make sure I was touching the ground so I could do some grounding. I think that also helped a lot because I was just a lot more calm and less stressed, and it was really nice. Like, I think grounding is amazing, and since being pregnant, I really have not been able to get out there. I've just been so weak and just exhausted and just haven't made that the priority, even though just laying on the grass would probably be super nice. I just haven't. Another thing I was doing was walking a mile every single day, so trying to get some exercise. That's another thing I really need to get back into, but again, it's just been a really rough first trimester, but I'm hoping I can start doing more of that really soon. I was also eating really healthy. I looked up a bunch of foods that help with like ovulation and fertility, and I think by the end, those specific foods, I was only really having oranges, but I'm still trying to eat healthy, like a clean diet. I try to make sourdough stuff, eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, meat, not a lot of processed foods if I can avoid it, and so just kind of overall try and eat a whole lot better. And again, I don't know what worked with these, but I think overall just living a healthy life is a really good step. It definitely was like, it was really rough. I have wanted to be a mom since I can remember, and the first step was to get married, and that was a lot longer than I wanted. I know, like, 25 was not like old for people, or actually, yeah, 25. I was 25. But for me, I really wanted just to be married young and to have kids, and it took a little bit longer. And so it was really rough. On top of that, I'm struggling to get pregnant. But God has a plan for everything, and you just have to trust Him, and whatever miracle, when your miracle comes, I don't know, but He has a plan. And sometimes it's just wait, and sometimes it's to get help. I know there were several times, even through this last year, that I was like, well, do we need to go get tested? Do we need to get help? And the answer I always received was, no, just wait. And that's really rough when sometimes I'm an impatient person and I just want to know and have all the answers. But it ended up working out, and we're now out of the first trimester, and I'm feeling excited about that, and to hopefully see our baby. I mean, hopefully it'll be soon. It just feels like it's taking forever at this point, but I am thrilled. Logan is thrilled. Our family's thrilled, and yeah. So let me know below, have you struggled with infertility? Is that something maybe you're worried about? Because I know that's something that's so worry. Are there things that helped you or you're actively doing? Let me know down below. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to message me over on Instagram. I would love to just be able to talk. And even if that's just words of encouragement, if you're struggling with it, and you just need some words and to talk to someone, I'm with you. It's rough and it's hard, but there is hope, and everyone's gonna be different. Some people do need to go through a lot of different testing. We have a lot of friends who have struggled with getting pregnant, who is a lot harder than it has been for us, and my heart goes out to everyone. Everyone's journey is different, and to be able to grow their family. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, push the bell notification, and I'll see you guys next week. Hope you have a great day, great night. God bless.